Hello and welcome to Plastic Kraken. Today I thought I'd just do a quick video just to give an update on Combat Patrol and the news that we've had today. So we now know when the Combat Patrol magazine will be launching. So it is coming out in August in the UK, which is what we were expecting, but it's nice to have official confirmation now that this is when it is going to be coming out. So this is the full nationwide release that we've been waiting for. So if you're already subscribed or you want to get subscribed, at least now you have an idea of when this will definitely be coming. And they've confirmed they are going ahead with the magazine in full. Now we do know as well that there are going to be some changes coming, so more on that as we go. But I just want to run over a few things just to bear in mind about this run of the magazine and some things that have changed since it was initially announced. So we have seen that the combat patrols in general have been changing for some factions. So, for example, the factions that are included in the magazine, we've seen Chaos Space Marines change. We've seen Orcs and Genestealer Cults as well. And some of those changes a bit more egregious, perhaps, than some of the others. So, for example, change to the Chaos Space Marines here on the left. You have what's going to be included with the Combat Patrol magazine, at least so far as we know at the moment. And then on the right, you have the new Combat Patrol. So in general, these have been going down in the number of models. It's not true for in all cases, but also losing more points, losing like discount. So they've not been generally that well received, I would say. It is worse for some factions than others. But by getting the magazine, you are going to get the older Combat Patrol, which, as you'll see in just a second, a lot of the older ones. Well, I wouldn't say a lot because there's three isn't changing, but some of the old Combat Patrols are better than what they're being replaced with, and quite significantly so. So I think it is good that there's still a way to pick up these older, better Combat Patrols um, via this magazine. So the next one here that we've got the Genestealer Cults Combat Patrol. So this is the one that you're going to get in the Combat Patrol magazine, and that has actually been replaced by this, a big steaming pile of rubbish. Now, I was actually going to put a dog turd here originally, um, just to show the real difference between what you're getting in the magazine versus what they've replaced it with. But this is what they're actually changing it to. It's not that it's bad models or anything like that, but they really are skimping now on the models is included, just the savings and the price and the points increase between the left and the right is significant. So I believe on the left, that's something like 625 points. And then on the right, it's going down to about 385. Now, obviously, like the new codex, maybe that'll change and it'll be different points values, but that's like 200 odd point difference. That's not good. It's really not good, and this one on the left had a huge saving compared to some of the other combat patrols. It's what made it one of the best ones, and it's why I'm glad it's included in this magazine so people can get it because Genestealer Cults are an expensive army to start. And not everyone is picking this up purely to play combat patrol. I know a lot of people will be picking this up just because they want these models or they want to start an army. Um, and so at least doing it this way, you're going to be able to get much more bang for your buck, especially because you are getting it at a discount even on the normal combat patrol price. So yeah, I think it's a good thing we can still get it that way. It's also, I suppose, with these combat patrols changing, it does mean that if you do want to extend to a full army, at least you can get hold of the older combat patrol, and then you can always buy the new one if you are interested in them. There are cool models in this if you wanted to pick that up. Then you could do so. But it's just that, a lot of these combat patrols are changing and not for the best. So I do hope that they keep these old combat patrols in the magazine, and that we can still get them that way. I think they will, but we shall see. as we go through. So another thing to bear in mind, price increase from Games Workshop. It's another year, so they got to raise their prices again because, they're not making enough money, and any little, you know, bit of extra cash that they have to pay out, well, it's best that they pass that on to us, isn't it, really? We're we're not struggling or anything in this country or around the world with different things and inflation. Times, it's not like times are getting harder or anything. It's just, yeah, slap on another increase this year. So, yep, combat patrol prices going up uh, a not insignificant amount. So they're going up from £95 to £100 in the UK. Or in dollars, that's, I believe, about 160 to 168, or in euros, 125 to 130. So not great for Combat Patrol as a format, I don't think, if it's harder for new people to get in, because I think £100, it's a significant price, and when you get into the triple digits like that, people are going to be second guessing whether this is something they really want to get into. So I don't think it's the best decision for getting new people into the hobby, but there we go. I suppose that's what this magazine is for, really, isn't it? It's really to trying to tempt new people in, and to give collectors, a way of picking up some stuff at a bit of a discount. But these prices, this price rise hits on the 10th of June. Um, and yeah, it is it is just a bit sad to see. But it does mean, I suppose, that with the magazine, you're now making an extra bit of saving over what the new price will be. So yeah, at least I suppose it's that's the sort of silver lining to all this, if you're looking for one. Now, we do also know, so Foham has mentioned over on Facebook, that there are actually going to be some changes to what comes in these. Well, just some changes to the subscription, I should say. That's about all we know so far. They mentioned that they're going to be updating the website, I believe, in the next week. Um, and so, I suppose what could change really? Well, they could change some of the combat patrols that are included. They could change some of the additional models you get, such as like the Forge Fiend or something like that. They could update those sorts of things. It could be minor changes, for instance, changing the paints or the tools. Like, we really don't know at this stage until we get more information from Fohammer, and they really are the best resource for this magazine, because they get information directly from Hachette Parkworks, and they've always been amazing with their coverage from right from the very first Parkwork magazines that they did, right till now, and I'm sure that will continue. So I would keep an eye on their website for the latest information, as soon as it drops, essentially. Um, they have, I suppose, yeah, they have in the past changed the contents of magazines. So, for example, we could see something like perhaps with the premium subscription, what you get with that might change. Not enough people signed up for the premium version during the trial. That's something else I think could potentially change. And I suppose the worst case scenario would be they change some of these combat patrols over to the new ones, which I really hope isn't the case, because as we've seen, a lot of these older ones are better. And I suppose as well, perhaps if the feedback is that people aren't too keen on one or two of these combat patrols, maybe they would consider swapping them for a different faction. Um, I don't know. Like, I suppose that's a bit subjective. Everyone's going to have a different opinion on that. If you were really looking forward to, I don't know, the Aldari, and they changed those, took them out, but put in something else, that's obviously not going to be great for you, particularly if that's the reason why you subscribed. But yeah, I suppose we just have to wait and see on that. But yeah, interesting to see that there are going to be changes to this. So it's just something to make you aware of, and we'll keep an eye on it on this channel as well. Well, I suppose that's all for today, really. Thank you for watching. Um, please do like and subscribe. Um, one thing I should mention as well, actually, just quickly before you go, um, I suppose the slimming down of these combat patrols, and seeing like the recent Spearhead, announcements for Age of Sigmar, it does have me thinking about the next edition of the game and whether they might consider, uh, perhaps dropping the board size or something. Like maybe that's why we're seeing a bit of shrinkage with these combat patrols. And maybe they're considering moving to something more akin to Spearhead in the future. I suppose we won't know for a little while, and there's obviously a lot of 10th edition left before then. Um, but yeah, just something I've been thinking about. I'm very interested in Spearhead for Age of Sigmar. I'll probably make a video about that shortly as well, and why I think it's actually going to be better than Combat Patrol. Um, and yeah, so it's just something to bear in mind. Whether it will also mean that we end up getting a Spearhead magazine from these guys down the road, definitely be something I would be interested in personally. But yeah, well, I suppose we'll wait and see what comes. We've got to get through this one really before we start thinking too seriously about the next one and what that has to offer. I suppose it might depend on how well this format does for Warhammer 40,000. Whether Hatchet wants to go down that route again, or if they maybe want to go back to the days of sort of mainly focusing on two armies. So we shall see. But anyway, thank you for watching. Please do like, please do comment. Is there something that you would like to see changed in regards to this subscription? What would you hope to see changed? Um, what would you definitely not like to see changed? Please do let me know in the comments. It's always fascinating to hear what you guys have to say. And I will be sure to check your comments and reply where I can as well. So thank you very much. Take care and goodbye.